Welcome once again, fight fans, to fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Home for 3 straight weeks of PFL regular season action. Tonight you'll see that woman, Larissa Pacheco, taking on Julia Budd, a former world featherweight champion looking to get back to those winning ways. Aspen Ladd also on the card. At one time, the hottest prospect in mixed martial arts. And at one time, the hottest heavyweight was right there, Bruno Cappelozza. Also, we've got a problem, and his name is Renan Ferreira. Fighters in the building, getting ready. There's Evelyn Martins. Took this fight on short notice, eager for the opportunity. The Mad Titan, Yorgan De Castro. Heavy-hitting heavyweight, making his PFL debut. This is the PFL pre-fight show. Women's featherweights and heavyweights at the theater at Virgin Hotels. Here's our main card. This will be on ESPN2, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes. Larissa Pacheco, Julia Budd, that's our main event. Bruno Cappelozza taking on the last man to beat him in a rematch against Mateusz Scheffel. You can see the odds there. Aspen Ladd is a big favorite, as is Larissa Pacheco. And Biagio Ali Walsh, the grandson of the GOAT, the grandson of Muhammad Ali, in a special showcase feature. That's not all we've got, though. Our early card coming up very shortly right here on ESPN Plus. 6 league fights. Women's featherweight action in the first 3, heavyweight action in the final 3. You can see the blue corner favorites there, Rizvan Kunyev and Yorgan De Castro. Some big numbers, including the one next to Marina Moknakin's name. Sean O'Connell, Randy Couture, Kenny Florian, happy to be here once again. And let's talk about our main event. Larissa Pacheco pulled off one of the upsets of the mixed martial arts year when she dethroned Kayla Harrison. Now she's back to chase a championship, but in a new weight class.
Absolutely. The opportunity for her to make history in the PFL and be the first 2-division champion. She's on fire. She had 5 first-round knockouts going into that finals last year where she dethroned Kayla Harrison. The hands are on point, as physically fit as we've ever seen her. She's not afraid to step in the pocket and let those jab cross combinations go. She's got a great ground skills. She started this sport at 15 years old and turned pro at 17. That's a ton of experience coming out of Curitiba, Brazil. This gal is on fire and at the peak of her career right now.
Well, I think she's going to need to be, Kenny, because she's taking on a former featherweight world champion. Julia Budd feels like she's back in the right weight.
That's right. This is the division where she made her name, and she feels like she has the skills, she has the experience, and she has the strength to really challenge Larissa Pacheco and pull off a massive upset here. She needs to set up her strikes well, get into the clinch, take advantage of those clinching opportunities, get in on those legs as well, put Larissa on her back, get some control time, and set up some submissions. She's feeling confident that not only she can win this fight, but she can potentially finish the Brazilian.
You know, we like to get the fans involved early. Actually, if you will scan the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you can pick who you think is going to win in that main event. You can vote for Larissa Pacheco. If you think it's going to be Julia Budd pulling off the upset, you can cast that vote as well. Tell us who you got. And let's talk about the co-main event. Bruno Cappelozza in 2021 was the heavyweight champion here in the PFL. And similar to Larissa Pacheco, it was speed, it was power, it was incredible striking. But can he get back to his championship form?
In 2021, there's no question, when he was the champion, he was the most exciting heavyweight on the planet. You look at his speed, you were talking about that. I mean, that is just unmatched. His ability to get into boxing range, and when he hurts you, to take you out with that killer instinct, was just unbelievable to witness. Everybody was just falling down to the speed and power of Cappelozza. His goal is to not only bring back that striking speed and power, but to bring in some ground skills as well. He's been working heavily on his wrestling, on his grappling. Don't be surprised if you see some submission attempts as well.
Look, I was driving the Bruno Cappelozza hype train back in 2021. I was like, this guy is unbeatable. But then Mateusz Scheffel showed us that that is absolutely not true. He pulled off a huge upset, and he's looking to do it again.
Mateusz Scheffel, first time up at the heavyweight division. He runs into the Cappelozza train, and man, did he have the best fight of his career, honestly. Stayed out at range, wore out that front leg, took some of the mobility of Cappelozza, put together great punching combinations, used his long levers, and managed to pull off a very, very big upset against Cappelozza. He hopes to be able to do that. He's been working a lot on his mental skills, working with a psychologist. Says we're our own worst enemies, and he couldn't be truer about that. So hopefully he's got it set, and he comes out and does it again.
By the way, Mateusz Scheffel won the last fight, but he's an underdog again tonight. And as long as we're talking about underdogs, let's talk a little betting with our experts. The best in the business, Jonathan Coachman and Ian Parker, will guide us as we wager through this card. Fellas, how are we betting?
Oh, Sean, good evening. Thank you very much. Great to be back with everybody, and I'm fired up tonight. I know Ian is. We'll get to him in a second. But 6 months ago, let's all remember that Larissa Pacheco, she was trying to climb the mountain, trying to get to the mountaintop, and she finally got it done. In fact, her last 5 performances, dominant, KO, TKO, 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 and of course, that amazing win over Kayla Harrison. But now, everything changes, Ian Parker. She's now the hunted, no longer the hunter. She's been hovering around -1,000 all week. We can't play that. So what do we do?
We are going to take this down to a much more playable option here. Larissa Pacheco, yes, she may be the hunted, but in my eyes, Coach, I think in hers, she is still very much the hunter. We're going to look at the betting big board here. By finish and by KO, TKO. Now, if you want to go very specific, I don't mind. By KO, TKO, the pressure she's going to put on Julia Budd, I think is going to overwhelm her at -110. If you want to play it a little bit safer like I'm going to do it by finish, give her all 3 rounds to get it done, whether it's by sub or by TKO, KO at -190.
And for those of you brand new to MMA betting, kind of our comfort zone is -200 or below. You can play it straight, or we'll throw it into a parlay. So now let's move to the co-main event of the evening. It's kind of cool, Ian, that we got 2 guys that the last 2 years have been major players in this division. They have no time to wait. They have to show up and show out tonight. What do you like?
Well, last season, Mateusz Scheffel caught Bruno Cappelozza in a very interesting position. Bruno had already clinched the playoffs, and Scheffel, sense of urgency, he got knocked out in the first fight against D'Elia, so the urgency was all there. Coach, I would not want to be the person to fight Bruno Cappelozza in the first fight where urgency is everything. Bruno Cappelozza at -150 is absolutely my play. I think he comes out guns a-blazing. This guy's the master of violence. I believe he's going to get it done.
Yeah, -150, that is our sweet spot, and a great reminder by Ian that bonus points are everything in the PFL. That's going to do it for now, but we still have our bold prediction to come. And of course, Sean, your favorite, the cross-card parlay later in the show. Back to you.
That betting big board is just a thing of beauty, and it's even more beautiful when you're cashing as many checks as you do when you follow along with the duck. Let's take another look at the main card. This is just 4 of the 10 fights we have on the card tonight. Aleyna Kolesnik, Aspen Ladd, and Biagio Ali Walsh, Isaiah Figueroa in a showcase feature, not for regular season points. That's actually an amateur bout. And Randy, when we're talking about the grandson of Muhammad Ali, it changes the game. I know you're looking forward to Biagio Ali Walsh fighting here in the PFL again.
Absolutely. Biagio Ali Walsh has been training at Extreme Couture. He used MMA as a conditioning tool when he was playing football at Berkeley and UNLV. After football, he floundered a little. He's like, who am I now? He went back to MMA. Here he's going to come into the PFL for his 3rd outing, his 2nd outing with the PFL. His first 2 are first-round stoppages. Great hands, explosive, very, very good athlete. This is a very humble, very articulate young man. He has a bright future in this sport.
And he's just at the beginning of his mixed martial arts career, but it's great so far. He's looked incredible, and we saw him in the PFL Smart Cage. Let's take a closer look at his debut last year in New York City.
Biagio Ali Walsh.
A lot of pressure comes with that name. Grandson of boxing legend Muhammad Ali, also making his amateur PFL debut.
It is true, you know, I do want to create my own name, and I do feel like I've gotten here because of who I'm related to, but that's why I'm here to perform very well, so I can show people that, you know, I have the talent and the confidence. So it's all up to me at the end of the day.
Nice right hand landed. And a jab as well, and a right hand. Ali Walsh getting off early here. Little blood on the hairline already of Tom Gracer. Push kick knocks Gracer down.
Ali Walsh all over him right now.
Another right hand lands for Ali Walsh. Excellent combinations.
Oh, big shot.
It's a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm super grateful that I have this opportunity. So, you know what, I'm gonna just go for it and just put in all the work and and just only live, breathe, and sleep MMA. So.
And the right hand, that'll do it! Wow. Biagio Ali Walsh unleashes hell on Tom Brady.
Ali Walsh.
So a chance for everyone to see kind of the origin story of Biagio Ali Walsh. He's got the bloodline, he's got the name, he's trying to establish his own credentials. And then in our other bout we haven't talked about yet on the main card, women's featherweight, points on the line. Aspen Ladd makes her regular season debut. She was part of a showcase bout last year, but this is the first time she'll be competing for points and a place in the standings.
You know, her talent, her potential was never really questioned. But what was questioned was her ability to make weight at 145 pounds. You know, sometimes you need to let things slip between your fingers before you realize this is exactly what you want. She has a completely different approach to how she trains and prepares for MMA now. She's way more professional. She's really focused on taking it one fight at a time. She has the right mindset, has the right approach now, and she has that experience against elite competition in Julia Budd from last year.
You know, Jonathan Coachman and Ian Parker didn't tell us how we were supposed to bet the bout between Aspen Ladd and Elena Kolesnik. So, experts, how do we play this one?
Well, Sean, I'm so glad you asked. And the reason we didn't tell you, because this is special. It's time for our bold prediction, brought to you by Puncher's Chance. And the three of you know, Sean, that anything can happen in MMA. And Ian Parker, as I come to you, your bold prediction speaks to that. What do you got?
Oh, Coach, this is the definition of bold. Not only are we taking possibly the biggest underdog on the card here, I'm going to go method of victory. Look, when you talk about Aspen Ladd, I love what Kenny said. It's never been a question of the potential. She's always had skill. It's been about the weight cutting, the mental aspect of the game. But she's fighting someone in Elena Kolesnik who's been here before, battled tons of adversity, has won against other grapplers. So if this fight can stay on the feet, I think the power of Kolesnik could be the game changer. So I'm going to be extremely bold, take a shot. Coach, I know you're going to love this number. By KO or TKO at plus 1,100 for Elena Kolesnik to get it done.
You know I love any plus number, but a plus 1,100, I absolutely love that. Now, Sean, we've made the three picks on the main card, but the beautiful part about the PFL is that every fight, it matters the same at the pay window. So still to come, we've got picks from the early card, and also, as I already teased, we're going to keep you interested all night long with our cross-card parlay. But for the here and the now, send it back to Sean.
Wow. Plus 1,100? Wow. A bold prediction indeed, but we know that Elena Kolesnik is hungry for that upset victory.
I thought she wanted to fight you in the interviews there, Sean. Holy cow.
She's intense. She showed up very, very intense for the week. Elena Kolesnik with a lot to prove as she chases a place and hopefully a featherweight championship eventually. All right. Great main card, all of it leading toward a main event featuring Larissa Pacheco, who's looking to make history here in the Professional Fighters League. Uppercuts from Larissa Pacheco and another first round finish. Huge right hand, nice inside leg kick and a combination. Oh, big right hand there by Pacheco. Oh, big right hand.
Check on full mount now.
Pacheco turning up the aggression. Another right hand and another.
Samsiko's in trouble.
The referee waves it off. Fabian faced with the decision of trying to give up her back. And that will be enough. Oh, that was a devastating left hook. Right uppercut and another first round finish. Gets a big left hook. Larissa Pacheco goes right to work. Larissa Pacheco just pulled off one of the biggest upsets in the history of our sport.
No one knows where it comes from. Why some have it and some don't. It's the fighting spirit. It consumes fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
This is the hardest competition in sport, never mind combat.
But it is hard, doesn't matter if you're injured, you kind of just got to fight through it.
It was crazy, a crazy experience. This was hard as
I think it was a little bit overwhelming for, how quick the pace is for the season.
Tá muito bem focado. E eu acredito sim que é dos maiores e mais difíceis eventos do mundo.
It is demanding, it is grueling, it is one of the toughest tests, but I welcome it.
You're gonna make this climb, you climb, and then you get thrown off the mountain and you have to start over again.
Com certeza é uma das coisas mais difíceis de se fazer.
Larissa
Welcome back to the PFL pre-fight show. And yes, the regular season playoff and championship format, 4 fights in less than 8 months. It really is the toughest test in combat sports. And it's something I hold near and dear to my heart, Kenny, because it's the only thing that I have over you and Randy. The only thing that I did in my career that you guys didn't.
And you had 5 fights, by the way. Unbelievable.
Yeah, these kids don't know how good they have. This is how the season format works. 10 fighters in each weight class. We've got 6 different divisions. 2 regular season fights for each fighter, 3 points for a win, bonus points for finishes. More on that in just a second. The top 4 fighters on points in each division will make the playoffs. And if you manage to progress through the playoffs and win a championship, it comes with a $1 million prize. Here's how the point system works. You get a win, you get 3 points. In the unlikely event of a draw, that's good for 1 point in the season standings. If you win in the first round, you get 3 bonus points. Second round finish, 2 bonus points. A third round finish, and you get 1 bonus point. That's how you accumulate points and try and secure your spot in the playoffs. Another look at our main card here. Coming up on ESPN2, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Deportes later. Take a look at those odds again. Jonathan Coachman and Ian Parker already told you how we're betting the main event, co-main event, and that feature with Aspen Ladd and Elena Kolesnik. This is our early card. 3 women's featherweight fights, all for points and a place in the standings. The same is true of those 3 heavyweight bouts as we take a look at the odds there. Rizvan Kuniev, Jorgen De Castro are blue corner favorites here, both of them making their PFL debuts. All right, incredible card. Even that early card has some really compelling matchups. Kenny, give me the highlight for you.
When we were watching the Challenger Series, there was a lot of great talent, but one that really stood out was Evelyn Martins. Only 20 years old. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but you wouldn't know that. Why? Because she stands up and wants to destroy her opponents. She has an iron chin, loves to move forward. She's very calculated. She's very precise. She's active, high-volume striker. Watch out for her. Doesn't have the same kind of experience as the other ladies, but I'm telling you, she's a dark horse in that division, no question in my mind.
You mentioned we saw her on the Challenger Series. We saw her twice on the Challenger Series. This is her 3rd fight in 2 months. And if she makes it all the way to a championship, no one can claim they've had a tougher road than Evelyn Martins. Randy, same question for you. What are you most looking forward to on the early card?
Well, I'm looking forward to the Problema, Renan Ferreira, 6'8", and unbelievable athlete. I mean, this guy's capoeira aerials and long, rangy guy. When he shows up, he's tough for anybody to deal with. He's been specifically working on his ground game to be more effective both in the top and the bottom position on the ground. But we know what he brings in the standing position. Long levers, and he is not afraid to let them go. You better be ready to go. This guy is going to be a problem for anybody.
That's a regulation hoop, by the way. Yeah. Easy dunk for Renan Ferreira. And someone that big doing a one-legged backflip.
Yeah.
Here's a closer look at this absolute freak of nature, Renan Ferreira.
Renan Problema Ferreira.
Straight right. It's a 1-2. Good night from Renan Ferreira.
Ferreira, very explosive, very fast.
6'8". That is a formidable, tall guy.
Lands in a half guard, right to the body. And these are not your grandfather's ground strikes. Nasty work from Renan Ferreira on top. Another low calf kick, nasty, Renan Ferreira. Oh, he clipped him on the top of the head.
Yeah, that hurt him.
Carl Ceiba in trouble, and here come those hammer fists yet again.
I don't know what else we could say about that guy. They just don't build very many like him. He is a true heavyweight.
He's not just big, he's athletic as well. That's the problem.
Oh, he's got a knee. Ferreira pounding away on the side of Jamel Jones' head.
Wow.
He's out.
So, as you can see, Reina Ferreira, at his best, is a big-time problem, but he's not the only heavy-hitting heavyweight on the card. And making his PFL debut, Yorgan De Castro. The fourth member of our broadcast crew tonight is Megan Anderson, and she caught up with the Mad Titan.
Yorgan, the last time I spoke with you was in Melbourne, Australia, back in 2019. Now, 2023, you're making your PFL debut. How excited are you for tonight?
I'm very excited, man. I can't wait actually to put on a show. It's been a long 12 weeks, and I can't wait to start the heavyweight division with a bang.
Well, short notice opponent, very different to your original matchup. He's got a big height and reach advantage. How do you plan to nullify that?
To me, it doesn't matter the opponent. My game plan is always the same. It's stop takedowns and knock them out, so it's going to be the same today.
Well, I'm so excited for this one. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I can appreciate a man with simple desires in a fight. Stop the takedown, knock him out. Thank you, Yorgan De Castro, for making it easy and simple. All right, I showed you the numbers and the odds on this early card. How do we bet it, though? We've got experts to guide us through, Jonathan Coachman and Ian Parker, best in the business, and they're back to navigate the early card. Fellas, give it away.
Sean, I also like simple things, which is why I work with Ian Parker so much. But let's get to the early part of the show. We're just talking about the ladies. Martins and Dobek, let's start right there. What do you like?
Coach, if you have seen Evelyn Martins, then you already know what type of beast you are dealing with. She's 20 years old. If you have not seen her, you are in for her treat. Now, her opponent, Carolina Sobek, is undefeated. 3, I believe, out of her 4 wins by submission. However, Martins is a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, super well-rounded, great striking, great leg kicks, as we saw in her last fight. I'm going with the 20-year-old out of American Top Team, Evelyn Martins.
And that'll be the second fight on the card. The fourth fight is Marquez and De Castro. Where are we going there?
You know, Megan mentioned that it's a change-up in an opponent, and it is, and that can be difficult. But I think this is a better matchup for Yorgan De Castro. He was going to fight Dennis Gotzoff, who is bigger, really good on the ground, and has been a perennial contender in the PFL. He is fighting someone in Danilo Marquez, who is going to want to keep this fight standing, and I think De Castro is going to land that heavy hands on him and get the knockout. We're going with the Mad Titan. How do you pass up on a nickname like that? Give me him at -150.
That's a very, very good question. Now, we like to believe that you can have fun also when you're MMA betting, and everybody loves a good parlay. Even more so, Ian Parker, they love a good cross-card parlay. Give me 4 names you're going to put together to give me a good number.
Now, Coach, as we look at the card, the odds are very heavy. So I'm being very conservative this week. I'm going what we call a little bit chalky on the parlay here with some favorites. We're going to go in Marina Makakina at -540. Now, I want you to pay attention to the betting big board. As Sean said, it is a thing of beauty and art. The odds are going to drop as we go higher and higher. We're going to go up to Martina Jindrova. If you've seen her fight also in the Challenger Series, she performed last year in the PFL regular season. Excellent striker. I believe she gets it done here. The odds are already dropped down. We're going up to the next one. Marcelo Nunes over Maurice, the crochet boss Green. Marcelo Nunes, excellent on the ground. If you put Maurice Green on his back, he's got a decent guard, but Nunes has got world-class jiu-jitsu. I think he gets it done there. And, Coach, I believe we're going to go super safe here. I'm going Larissa Pacheco, -950, and we are going to get almost even money on this parlay. Let's go.
Well, you heard Ian Parker. He said, let's go. And I'm looking at my watch, and it's just time to go. For Ian Parker, I'm the coach. We'll be here all night. But, Sean, you got to get things started. Back to you.
Yeah, we are moments away from live professional mixed martial arts action as women's featherweights and heavyweights start their season here, and they begin the quest for a $1 million championship. Now, Larissa Pacheco, she's been there. Bruno Capoloza, he's been there. But Randy, nobody else has won a PFL championship on this card. Nobody else has taken down $1 million payday in their career. The significance, you think, for these fighters knowing that that's 4 fights away?
Well, I think obviously They have to take it seriously. As all these experienced veteran fighters will tell you, this is the toughest thing there is going. It's tough to get through a whole season. You got to manage it properly. You got to figure all that out. I think they're all up for the challenge. It's going to be exciting to see how it unfolds.
And a brand new weight class debuting tonight. We've not had women's featherweights. It was women's lightweights last year and in all the seasons previous. And as we've already mentioned, there are some women who feel like they're a little bit more comfortable at 145 pounds. Is that a factor tonight?
No question about it. It's a tremendous opportunity. A large portion of the competitors from last year competing at 155 pounds felt that they were better suited at 145 pounds. Now they have this division. It's wide open. They could be the first champion here in the PFL.
Larissa Pacheco is looking to become the first two-division champion in PFL history. She pulled off the biggest upset in mixed martial arts last year when she dethroned Kayla Harrison. Now she knows the target is on her back. She's the new queen in the Professional Fighters League. But coming up next, we will start the action in the women's featherweight division. Marina Makhnakina, one of the aforementioned women who thought that this was a weight class where she could find a little bit more success. The decorated judoka jumping into the smart cage, 7-time world champion in combat sambo. She'll take on Yoko Higashi, who makes her Professional Fighters League debut. Looking to put Japan on the map here. Fights from Vegas next.
Let the bass kick. Let the bass kick. Let the bass. Let the bass kick.
You pour everything you've got into everything you do, and you never accept excuses. Every punch you throw, every stride you make, every chance you take, in the ring or in life, this is how you take your shot. An authentic 90 proof Kentucky bourbon that stands out from the crowd. Puncher's Chance Bourbon. Take your shot.
Tonight, it's more PFL action. The heavyweights and